Stay with your legs, media. You know what to do. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. What's up? This is Ennis Libby, Stay with your legs, media, and we're here today talking about Pyrenees Stage 4. We had race stoppage, neutralization, then we had snow, rain, and we even had a vehicle crash. I think it crashed into a fire truck. But yeah, it wasn't good for the riders. It was probably one of the longest stages of the year. There are not going to be too many stages that like almost 240 kilometers. That's a long day. It's one thing if it's dry or sort of warmish, but to have to do that in like freezing cold rather, and then have to stop in the cold, not good at all. But anyway, let's get on with today's race and how today's race went. We had like the Ineos riders just before the stoppage of the race, chasing down the breakaway, and just as they were getting going, the weather was horrific. As you can see, it's not just raining, but it's hailing as well. And you see the riders like, what's going on? Like, why, you want us to stop? What's going on? And so, and as you can see, riders in the break. So it was a two, four, six, seven riders in the breakaway, and then eventually they stop them, and then everyone stops, and it just comes to a halt, and they're just trying to get everyone is going back to the cars, trying to get jackets, get a little bit of tea, put on drier clothes. It wasn't nice at all. It wasn't nice at all. So as this neutralization was happening, the as the neutralization was happening, the organizers were trying to decide what to do, and I think that the main talk was that they are glad to see the fact that uh, they weren't putting the riders in danger, because it wasn't just it was just cold. The rain was, or the heavens were dumping sleet and snow on the road, and then one of the support vehicles came around a corner, and looks like it slid out at the cap. Actually, the Catalan vehicle came around the corner and slid out, and you can see pictures of the vehicle, like the front of the all damaged and whatnot. And so we had like riders like Matt Peterson, and you can see like Jonas Vingegaard and different riders, Philippe, trying to get suited up and get more clothes and stuff to warm up, because that is probably this is the worst thing to have to do, is to sit around and wait for the restart of a race. You just don't want that. This is why riders warm up intensely. So there were two incidents. It looks like, I don't know if the bike hit the hit the car, but or what. But definitely there was a bike that was in the ditch, was a policeman's bike. But you'll see later, the front of the Catalan vehicle, like the right light was missing, and also you can see that the um, the airbags had been deployed. So at the finish line, before they got to the finish line, they showed a picture of snow falling, but the snow had dissipated, and the sun was starting to come up. But you can see the riders like all throughout the race, like just trying to shake the hands and get the cold out of get the blood, the warm blood to the fingers, because it was absolutely miserable. I've been in conditions like that. I know what it feels like. So as you can see here, you can see all the icy slush on the road there, and coming up on the is this the vehicle that? Yep, there's the vehicle, and you can see the bits on the ground that obviously came in collision with something. So I'm not, the police bike may have been another incident. So maybe the police bike slid out, and then the car slid out and caused some damage. So they're finally like getting themselves organized. The riders are sitting around and they're getting themselves organized. The riders are still pumping themselves up, still trying to keep warm and whatnot. And then right here, the official was actually telling everybody, we're going to get everything started in 2 minutes, and then give everybody their time gaps, the time gaps that were ahead. So that is Tibor the Grasso right there in the Alpecin de Kennick. And the crazy thing, he just looked so cool the whole day. I mean, even though it was cold, there's a rider trying to warm his hands up. Like I said, you know, the engine's obviously going to be pretty warm. So it's you just gotta do what you can. And riders, you can literally see riders there, like shaking and stuff. It's just so cold. They're just, yeah, they're absolutely freezing, and they want to get going. They want to get going and get warmed up. So they finally let the 7 men that were out front. They let them go and get the race started. And then once they get started, they let the field go, but they obviously let the guys in between. So Abraham Johannesson from Uno X immediately goes to the front. It's like, yo, it's far too cold, and just let get things going. And the two Ineos guys that were in that group ahead, they had a plan, and they're trying to, like, get things done. But at the same time, Mads Peterson puts in a massive effort from behind. He puts in a massive effort, and then after he gets off the front, the group is just whittled down. The group is just pretty much down to you know the survival of the fittest right now. So right now we're gonna get, like, different counterattacks. So we're gonna get the movie star riders going, and then Bahrain victorious rider, I believe his name is Lenny. He gets on his wheel, followed by Jonas Vingegaard, and it's just right now it's just gonna go punch, punch, punch. But every time they stop and, like, no one counters or keeps that rhythm going, it gives the breakaway that much of a chance of surviving. So the breakaway at this point at like 23 seconds, and there's Matt Peterson, going off the back. He's done, and, like, I guess he's just trying to hang on to, like, get as much, so he can stay as close as possible to the finish, to the winner. So we're gonna get, like, sporadic attacks from different riders going off, and it's 3.7 kilometers to go. It's still a ways out, and it's a bit far for the top riders. So, like, Jonas and Tade usually wait for, like, excuse me, usually wait for like 5 kilometers to go. So here's where Lenny put in that big attack. So yeah, but the Bahrain rider put in that big attack, and Jonas was the only one to really go with him. So his name is Lenny Martinez. The SAG got it right. So he puts in the big attack, and he's telling Jonas to come around, but Jonas is not coming around because he's, like, trying to play the team thing and seeing that the group will catch up. And then when the group catches out, I think the plan would be for Matteo to come over and throw the attack. But that's not going to happen. They're going to close the gap, and then Yao Almeida is going to counter. But there were a couple more moves in between that. But Yao Almeida goes to the front. He puts the sting on, and they get rid of a few more riders. So the group is down to about, it looks like, 8 to 10 riders now. So and Jonas Vingegaard is obviously sitting on Yao Almeida's wheel because he knows that he's a big threat. And the gap is now down to 13 seconds. Yao Almeida's on the front. And we get one more attack from the Red Bull rider. And Matteo is on his wheel, like, not letting him go nowhere. But it's not, he just upped the pace a little bit, not really an attack. All the while, Tobias is sitting out the front, and they're going to catch him. He's just, like, kept pushing the pace out, kept pushing his pace, but didn't work. But that was one sketchy moment right there. The rider nearly just took out everybody, but luckily, uh, he was able to stay on the bike. But that was pretty close. But here you see Lenny Martinez going, attacking, and then on the top of Lenny's attack, Jonas attack. But this is not the Jonas of last season. So it is a pretty tough attack, a pretty hard attack. And I was like, really, like, Lenny's still on his wheel, but at the same time, it's not the terrain where Jonas can really punish you, because it's not steep enough. It's a climb, but it's not steep enough for. So, and then they're finally going to catch Tobias Force, who all of this time, or they've been, like, argy-bargy back and forth with one another. The gap eventually just got shut down. So Jonas makes one more attack. The meanwhile, Yao Almeida is on the front, keeping the tempo up, because, and this is why Jonas attacks, is because he sees Yao Almeida pulling it back, and he doesn't want to get caught. But here you see Lenny just gives up the ghost, and this is where Lenny the string breaks, and Martinez is just like, yeah, he just, like, goes kapoof, and then that's it. Well, Yao Almeida is still on the front, still setting the tempo, still not giving up. But at this point, I was like, okay, this is the Jonas that we know, and I was pretty sure that Jonas is, like, just gonna take the win. and you can see Lanny Martinez is looking for the group and see what's happening, where when they're going to come and catch him up, and it just never happened. So Yao Almeida just went to the front. We within the last kilometer. So fast forward to the last kilometer, and the time just went down really fast. Just really really fast. Yao Almeida just stayed on the front, and we were like about 200 meters to go. And then when we get to the 100-meter mark, there's the 100-meter mark. It's like Jonas doesn't have anything to sprint. He's put in everything just to be out front, and Yao Almeida had it in him to be able to come around and take the win. And take the win, he does. And that was, I did not expect that. I would not have put any money on Yao Almeida to win. If I had money, I would have betted on Jonas. So any money I had, guess what? I just lost it. So that was an amazing winner, an amazing victory for Yao Almeida. That was a big victory for Yao Almeida to be able to uh, beat Jonas Vingegaard, on a mountain stage. That's big, because Jonas, I rank Jonas as one of the best climbers in the world. So I don't know what he has planned for the rest of the season and stuff, but Jonas has a lot of work to do, because that was an amazing performance by Yao Almeida and Team UAE Emirates XRG, full name Team Emirates XRG. So anyway, Zina Sluby, very interesting stage, and we look forward to tomorrow's stage. But we still got bigger mountain stages, and if I don't know, I can't call it. Maybe today wasn't hard enough for Jonas, but it looked like it was hard, and he suffered. He couldn't do much, but this wasn't on as hard a stage. I mean, like, difficulty in the climb. It wasn't like, yeah, the gradients weren't. And yet Yao Almeida even said that he was surprised, because he like he would have he usually looks for like gradients that are a bit steeper and harder, but he got the win. And then we have harder stages coming. So I'm just curious. I'm just like quietly curious as to see what's going to happen. How is Jonas Vingegaard? Because hands down, the book is everything. All of the money is on Jonas to take this Paris-Nice. So we will see. And it's Luby Say with Your Legs Media. Hope you enjoyed that. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for my recap and review of stage uh, 5, as long as they don't try to cancel it or stop it or neutralize it or anything like that. So, and it's supposed to be raining for the rest of the week. We hope the guys dry up, get warm, have a good night's rest, because today was horrible. Anyway, in this Luby Say with Your Legs Media. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thanks. Say with Your Legs Media. You know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel.